Hello.
It's Happy Hump Day, right?
Sure, if you want to say that.
Is it Wednesday? Yeah, Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. It's Curt and Jen in the morning. This is our podcast. Thank you for listening. And if you do enjoy and listen regularly, or you just first time, we don't care.
Yeah, like, subscribe. You know, if you subscribe or follow on whatever platform, it just means it brings up when we have a new episode, which is every weekday morning, by the way.
But it kind of sounds like if there's a subscription involved.
No, it's no U.S. dollars.
It's no U.S.
free.
dollars. It's free.
$0 U.S. dollars for you.
Free, we think.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. All right. For today, I love this story. Of course I do. An airline that is shaming line jumpers, or as they call them,
Gate lice.
Gate lice.
It's the best.
How about America's rattiest city? And that's a word now. It didn't flag it as a non-word. Rattiest. And, you're excited about this.
New drinks at Starbucks inspired by an upcoming movie that's going to be huge.
One of the drinks is this color.
Yes.
Super pink.
Super pink.
And from yesterday, we asked you to leave your confessions. We got some fun ones.
Oh, man. You guys showed up with some juicy ones.
Yes. So all that's coming up after we let you know. Well, there are two.
Gosh.
Typically, we try to, and I said this before, but it's sort of redundant because I think we shy away from talking about these silly national days, and then we talk about them anyway.
Right. Well, because who knew there was a National Croc Day?
And that happens to be today.
Not crocodile, but croc the shoes.
Right. So if you're a fan of the Crocs, this is your day.
Congratulations.
Wear them to work, even
Happy
if you're
Croc
supposed
Day.
to wear like a suit and tie. You put
Wear your
Crocs
Crocs
on.
with them.
The other national day that it is today.
This one, I believe National Croc Day before this. You told me this. I'm like, come on, Curt Cruz.
Do you want to know more?
Yes.
National Slap Your Coworker Day. I thought for sure I was going to get a...
This must be followed by National Get Fired Day.
Yeah, or National We'll Meet You in HR Day.
Right?
So here's the description. Your coworker in the next cube is at it again, yakking it up nonstop, clipping their nails, popping their gum, and sucking up to the boss. Normally, you just grin and bear it, but today is different because it's National Slap Your Coworker Day. We cannot... That's right.
I would never.
This annual event takes place every October 23rd, and then it says, so if someone at work is bugging you, don't be shy. Take advantage. I disagree.
I would say don't if you like your job.
Or your coworker.
Well, even if you don't like your coworker, I still would recommend highly no.
Try to hold off on the slapping for at least another day.
Yeah. Can I also mention it's still October. Mm-hmm. It's still National Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
That's true.
Go get your mammogram.
That's right. And
That's
don't
it.
slap anybody in the meantime.
Don't slap anybody.
No slapping. We're not talking about slapping here.
Yeah.
All right.
What's this all about, Curt? Some county is going to tell us who the president's going to be?
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
after the voting starts.
Okay, tell me.
We're talking about Clallam County, Washington. Evidently, they have voted in Clallam County for the past 40 years. So since 84, which is hard to believe that was 40 years ago. They have picked and voted for the winning presidential candidate in every election since 1984. In fact, they actually, going back to 1920, it's been true for all elections except for two. That Clallam County, Washington, the only county in the country.
I was just going to ask that. Is this like a national story?
They have voted for the winning candidate every election for 40 years. So I guess, I suppose once the results come in for Clallam County.
Then we know. Just stop counting votes.
Exactly. There you go.
That's what we need to know.
Clallam's in, so.
I need to look something up. What's the biggest city in Clallam County?
Well, you're going to find out, aren't you? If the election were a coin toss, Clallam County would win 23 out of 25 times. The chance of that happening is about 1 in 100,000. So they know what they're doing.
Oh, okay.
What's the biggest city there?
Port Angeles, Sequim, Forks.
Oh, okay. So it's up in the north part of the peninsula.
Yeah.
Okay.
I knew it was somewhere up
They asked
by the water, but
Clallam countyist?
Countier.
Yeah. Why do you think that the Clallam County always gets the president or the votes right, or the election right? And well, we have the mountains, we have the ocean. It's got the perfect mixture of everything you could need. Which I'm like, how does that have anything to do with the election?
It just is. They're one with nature and with the elections.
And somebody else said, I would have to say we just have good insight. There you go.
There you go.
All right. So Clallam County, we'll see if they continue their record this year. And they picked the.
I hope they do.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
Yeah.
I was driving to your house today, Curt, and there was a news story about how American Airlines they're kind of abusive to their wheelchairs. Like, they break all the time because of the way they treat them. And they also treat the people in the wheelchairs not very well. And I'm like, well, that's crappy. And then you're like, hey, check out this American Airlines story. Something totally different than that.
This is the, you're going to find out right now what exactly gate lice are, okay?
Those are the people that jump the boarding line.
Right. So when they say, okay, now boarding section B or group B. And then some,
or rows 1 through 20.
And group C comes up like, yeah.
Now they're going to start shaming those people.
Yes.
And how are they going to do that? They're going to have a beep, beep, beep. If you scan your ticket and it is not your time to board, beep, 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 and ask them to step aside. They're not just going to let them through now.
I want the siren and the lights to go off and a big finger pointing at that person.
I feel like, yes.
Yeah, a giant hand comes down. You cheater.
I mean, American Airlines has tested it and said they've been pleased with the test so far.
And the agent at this time will say to the passenger, please step aside, a-hole. According to American Airlines, the purpose is to ensure customers receive the benefits of priority boarding and help improve the boarding experience by providing greater visibility into the boarding process.
And by the way, a representative in that news story that I heard on the way over said they are going to work hard on changing the way they treat people
in wheelchairs.
Well,
that's a good start there too.
Gosh.
But they can keep on treating what they call the
gate lice. You can call them out all you want.
Every single time. Let me see. A traveler said on social media, I saw this in action yesterday. It was great. I saw about 5 people get punted out of line for trying to board before their group was called. About time.
That's awesome.
I love that.
I do.
If there only there's a way to do that with people that cut you off in traffic or cut. No, what do they do if you jump the line for the ferry? Because they have a thing, right? Like if you're a ferry cutter, is that just up to the other people in line to...
Oh, I mean, people in the ferry line.
They will, yeah.
They'll kick your ass
they
right
will
out.
Let you know right away, you line jumper, you.
All right. Tell us about the rattiest city in America,
I just love that there's a word rattiest. So what's the best thing about your city? Well, it's not terribly ratty. Mine's the rattiest. Lovely Chicago, Illinois. And this is not the first time that they've been chosen as the rattiest city. This is from Orkin, the pest control people, okay? So Orkin...
Way to go, Orkin.
The annual rating of rattiest cities in America just came out. Chicago tops the list again. It's held the title for a full decade, ever since they started doing this list.
More than
Chicago.
New York?
Well, Chicago, this is according to Orkin people, they say, you know what? Chicago can thank its large transit system, which is where ratties like to go. Ratties.
Okay.
And also abundance of alleys for the unwavering rat issue. And of course, they're right there on Lake Michigan as well, which may have something to, so there's a lot of water around. But they also gave a nod to both Los Angeles and New York. They've both now been in the top 3 for 7 years in a row. Chicago, Los Angeles, and New York, the top 3 rattiest cities.
Okay, well,
Seattle not on there.
Thank goodness. I'm happy. Yes, me too.
What if you found out? Hey, Bothell, Washington is the rattiest city. You'd have to move. You'd have to move.
Gross.
So here's the deal. Who hasn't gone to usually larger store, like say a Costco and saw a bird inside, or Fred Meyer.
I just was in a store and saw a bird in there for real. I'm like, oh my God, there's a bird right there.
They come on in and then eventually they leave, right? They find their way out. Well, not so in Sydney, Australia. Cockatoos, by the way, when I went to Australia, they were all over the place. Here you're like, oh, I've got a cockatoo as a pet. But in Australia, they were just flying around, landing in trees, all kinds of stuff, right? So a wild cockatoo flew into a grocery store in Sydney, Australia, and it was stuck in the store for almost a month.
I'm looking up a cockatoo.
Oh, you're going to know what they looked like. There's one right there. The big white birds. Are you going to hold it up for people? If you're watching, that's a cockatoo. For those of you, this is mostly for Jen's benefit because we all knew what a cockatoo was.
Well, I mean, I didn't know exactly what a cockatoo looked like. You knew exactly what a cockatoo looked like.
You're not going to see those birds, sitting on a telephone wire or whatever the case may be, and
with their yellow mohawk.
Yeah, they have a yellow mohawk. Anyway, so this cockatoo flies into a grocery store in Sydney, Australia, was stuck inside for almost a month, couldn't find his way out, would not let anybody catch him. And apparently a manager kept this guy alive by leaving water and bread out each night.
Oh,
so that was nice.
That's real nice. Why would he want to leave?
Well, that doesn't solve the problem. He's stuck in there because he probably wants to be free like the other cockatoos. trees, and that's where they'd like to go. He
Well-
probably has a nest that he needs to tend to.
Okay.
All right. So what happened was, here's how they caught them. They brought in a second cockatoo named Doris.
Doris?
Chicka bow bow.
Brown chicken, brown cow.
She calmed him down enough to be caught. So you bring the the love interest in, and he's like, "Hey, Doris."
If you bring in the bee scratches.
That's right. So now a shelter's taking care of him. They plan to release him back into the wild soon, and Doris got zero pay for her.
That's funny. They brought in a
Sacrifice.
bird bitch to bring him out.
And I love for some reason I love the name Doris. Hey, what's your bird's name?
Doris.
I guess it's as good as any other name, right? There you go. Here's the story that you wanted to talk about because you love pink.
And I love this movie. This is going to come out.
Yeah.
Starbucks has unveiled these drinks, 2 of them, that are inspired by the movie
Wicked.
I'm so excited. The movie comes out on November 22nd, which I just learned that the movie is 2 parts. The first part comes out November 22nd. The second one comes out November of 2025. We got to wait a whole year for part 2.
Well, that's how they did the Kill Bill movies, But
Okay,
each movie
anyway.
will stand on its own. It's not like they're going to stop it halfway through and say, "Oh, okay, wait a year and come back."
They not only have new drinks, but they also have tumblers that feature the beloved characters Glinda and
Elphaba, both of them, which is funny because we were watching a news story. You don't lose credibility. You're reporting the news, trying to sound like you know what you're talking about, and they were like,
and they're reading
they're featuring the tumblers featuring Glinda and Elphaba. I know it's an unusual name anyway. Elphaba, and Glinda, Galinda
from
the 2 main
Land of
characters.
Oz.
So if you're into the what's Glinda's pink potion?
Pink Potion is a vibrant concoction featuring a mango dragon fruit Starbucks refresher beverage. It is handshaken with creamy coconut milk ice and a scoop of real freeze-dried dragon fruit. This is my favorite part. The drink is topped with non-dairy strawberry cold foam and finished with colorful candy sprinkles, described as Oz dusting of magic.
So it's a healthy drink.
No,
right.
It is not.
Well, Elphaba's cold brew doesn't have nearly that description. It's a twist on the classic cold brew, sweetened with peppermint-flavored syrup, topped with non-dairy matcha cold foam, and adorned with green candy sprinkles, adding a magical touch reminiscent of what? Oz. Which is what Wicked is all about, by the way.
The drinks look really fun, especially side by side. And I'm loving all the Oz stuff because I love pink so much, right?
Right.
But the green is really cool, too. I walked into Ulta, the makeup store.
Right.
Right when you walk in, boom, a Wicked display. And they have so many cool green and pink nails and makeup kits and eyeshadow kits and lip gloss, like all the things.
I don't think this is a spoiler, but Elphaba, the character in the movie, is green.
I know.
I'm not for you. I'm just for everybody.
Oh, okay. And
may not have seen
Glinda
it.
wears pink.
She wears pink all the time. Who will be played by?
Me.
Okay.
Oh, I'm kidding.
Who will be played by Ariana Grande.
Yeah, that's right.
So there you go. You can enjoy those new drinks at Starbucks. We call it Starbucks.
But yeah, they're available now. They unveiled them yesterday.
This I don't understand. As we get closer to Halloween, and maybe you haven't finished all your decorating yet. I mean, it's 8 days away, 7 days away, something like that?
8 days away.
Yeah,
Yes.
give or take.
It's a week from tomorrow.
Right.
Craziness.
So when you go, pretty much any grocery store has a big pumpkin display out front. They're like, here's our pumpkins, 2 for $20.
Yeah, but are you noticing something different this year? Because there's a trend towards something a little bit different.
Well, I didn't know it was a trend for this year but in the past they've been in there, and I just thought, okay, they did not just they just didn't pick out the ugly pumpkins.
Oh my gosh.
Because they have the ones that literally they have warts, okay? What do they call these special ones? Like the heirloom varieties and stuff like that of pumpkins?
Yeah.
But apparently now they're being bred because
People love them.
The odd-shaped, colorful specialty pumpkins are the new trend this fall.
For decorating. Yeah, that's why you're seeing so many of them. I mean, you see them every year.
Right.
But I feel like this year they were especially abundant, if you will.
And even a description, those colorful, wart-dotted, odd-shaped squash are jumping off the shelves.
Yeah,
Because
people are
people
using
feel
them.
sorry for them.
It's a great decor.
They're gross.
They're just something different than the regular smooth pumpkins.
Okay, well, so if they said, hey, here's some different food, try it, you're like, it's gross. You're like, yeah, but it's different.
Well, I mean, some of them are kind of cool, I will say. I don't have any in my house because they're a little bit on the spendy side.
Remember the other day when we were saying, what hill would you die on? This is one that I will say.
You're going to have the smooth pumpkins, the traditional
Exactly.
pumpkins.
They can be green-ish,
Okay.
or orange, but the ones with the warts on them are just bleh.
All right. Well, to each his own. There's more of their own as there are you.
What?
I don't know. There's just a lot of people that are really buying those things up.
They're snapping them right up. So, you know what? I should be allowed for the fact that, yeah, like you said, to each their own. But, no, they're just uggo.
Okay.
They're uggo.
All right.
All right.
Okay. This
Yes.
is good. Everybody, your confessions. It could be anything. The example we gave yesterday was it was the Curt and Jen podcast question of the day. And that is, it really wasn't a question. It was just, give us your confessions.
Right.
It could be anything. We gave the example, I'm Italian and I eat frozen pizza.
And I was concerned, unjustifiably, by the way, because it turns out that someone's going to say, I killed a dude, you know.
No.
We didn't want those kind of confessions. And you guys came through.
Those people don't even listen to our show.
You'd be surprised
Okay.
how many murderers we have.
No.
No
God.
idea. I hope no. I hope it's zero. All right. So your confessions, it can be anything, and you deliver it again, Carrie. And I think that a lot of these things are people that it's kind of like they're secret that they don't really want to share, but this is an opportunity.
Some of them, they're guilty pleasure.
And sometimes if you get these out, and you actually say it out loud or write it down, you're like, okay, I feel somehow cleansed. So, Carrie,
You do?
I eat raw cookie dough.
So do I. Yummalicious.
But we also have
Andrew-
Holly.
Oh, okay.
Holly's like, I'm attracted to men who look like my dad.
Okay. These are very opposite. Andrea said, frozen baked cookies and brownies are the best.
That's not a confession.
That's a statement
Yeah. All right.
of her opinion, right?
Well, I guess we're taking
But I
statements.
still like it.
Yes, of course you do.
I think the confession there is that instead of making them homemade, she's just using.
I use frozen baked
she's
cookies.
cheating.
Okay.
She's
I see what they're
cheating.
saying instead of homemade.
Maybe,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
That's what I think.
Justin says I've got a crush on my boss, but I can't do anything about it.
Okay,
Have you ever
that's
been
a good
there?
one. A crush on my boss? No,
Okay.
never.
Sometimes even a coworker that makes it difficult, you know, or anybody in management above you. You're like, oh man, I'd love to date them, but I can't.
Can't.
Brian says I've been taking the change out of my roommate's loose change jar.
That's a confession. All right, Steeler. But we're not judging. This is just confessions.
We're judging a little bit.
Drew, I leave empty bags of snacks in the cupboard so my wife doesn't know I've eaten all of them. Oh my gosh.
Wait, what is it? Oh, okay. So he
He
you
leaves
go through
the
a bag
snack
of M&Ms or whatever.
But he leaves the bag in there so his wife doesn't know they're gone.
Right. You can make it. You can poof it up a little bit so it looks like there's still things
Yeah,
in there.
that's funny,
I like
actually.
it. Thank you for that one, Drew. Bridget says my boyfriend is a terrible kisser, but I can't tell him.
Wonder why she can't tell him.
Well, I don't know. It's tough. I mean, I dated a bad kisser for a while.
You
and-
did?
Yeah, it was kind of a drag. But you know, how do you define? Isn't it just a preferential thing? How do you say somebody's a good kisser or a bad kisser?
I mean, I think that a bad kisser to someone could be a good kisser to someone else. It's
Exactly.
just your chemistry.
I like sloppy, wet kisses that leave saliva all over my face.
I get good kisses.
You get good kisses?
I get good ones from Hot Firefighter
Me as
Boyfriend
well, from
Pat.
my wife. Laurel, I take a scoop of peanut butter before bed and it puts me to sleep. That's a confession and also maybe a sleeping tip.
Yep.
All right.
Randy says, I can't wait to see what Randy says.
Oh.
I too have an @hotmail.com.
His email address is a
Yes.
Hotmail. We were talking yesterday about how that was one of the things that said people think you're old if you have a Hotmail account.
Because you have
and I said,
Hotmail.
I've still got my Hotmail account. So,
So
too lazy to
okay,
change
so
it.
does Randy.
Thank you, Randy.
He still uses it as his primary email, and he's proud to be an OG.
An OG Hotmailer. I love it. Thank you, Randy, for that. Mariana, I'm a redhead and I'm not Irish.
Okay.
There's not much you can
Good
do
one.
about that, I guess. I guess that's a confession.
Thank you, Mariana. Kevin said Kevin said I kissed my best friend's ex-girlfriend. Is that bro code violation?
Possibly, yeah. I don't know if well, it is a confession because it's obviously weighing heavily on him. Does he tell the best friend that I kissed your ex?
I don't know. I don't know if we're here to solve that. But
Was there alcohol involved? Probably.
Oh dear.
All right, Kristen, this is a good one. I ate the last Nutty Buddy bar and blamed it on my sister.
I like it. I like it a
That might
lot.
be going back a few years.
Just release that now.
Oh, and this might be our favorite from Teresa.
I am the one who puked by the dumpster at work.
We were wondering who it was. Teresa.
Like, I want to know the circumstances under which that happened.
That might involve alcohol as well.
Maybe.
So we're looking at who puked. Oh, it was Teresa. She's the one who puked by the dumpster at work.
These were good. Way to show up. Yes.
Right. Are we taking more of them? Of
Oh,
course.
yeah, of course. All the time. I mean, you can always comment on any of our Curt and Jen in the Morning Facebook posts. That's what you have to look up, Curt and Jen in the Morning.
Particularly the Curt and Jen
Facebook
in the
is
Morning
right there.
podcast, super duper question of the day plus.
Yes. It's a lot.
Give a long name.
Okay.
How about this one? Worst? Let me start with this. There are plenty of romantic comedies that are fine little movies.
Oh, I
Most
love
of them,
romantic movies.
yeah, most of the rom-coms, they're not usually Oscar-worthy performances, but they serve a purpose, obviously. And
Well, more than rom-coms, it looks like. It's
Yeah.
based on this list. It's just like romantic movies in general, right?
So this is the list compiled by Collider, whatever Collider is. The 10 worst romantic movies of all time.
Okay.
It explains. I've seen almost none of these. How about you?
I have to go back. I mean, I've seen 50 Shades of Grey for sure.
Well, that's on there. Let's save the number one for last. We'll go on
Okay.
reverse order.
All right.
The top 10 worst romantic movies of all time.
Go.
10 is Aloha from 2015. Did you know that one?
I don't think so.
I wonder if these are all actually in theaters or if they're just like direct to video. 50 Shades of Grey made it at number 9. 50 Shades of Grey. LOL from 2012 is number 8.
Okay.
Accidental Love.
From 2014. Mr. Wrong, 1996. I don't remember that one.
That had Ellen DeGeneres in it, Mr. Wrong.
Well, why
You're
don't
going to look
you-
it up?
yeah,
Okay, all right.
Mr. Wrong.
Check out Mr. Wrong, the movie, and see. You're still looking at Cockatoos, aren't you? Number 5 was Swept Away from 2002.
It was Ellen DeGeneres.
Thank you very much.
And Bill Pullman.
Why do I know bad
I'm
movies?
certain I saw that one.
Okay. Now we're in the top 4. In the mix, 2005 was one of the worst romantic movies of all time. The Hottie and the Naughty.
I just love that you just said that. The Hottie and the Naughty.
Right.
From 2008.
So now the number 2 worst romantic movie of all time.
We all heard about this movie. I don't know that I ever saw it. I can't remember. From Justin to Kelly, 2003.
Right. So Kelly Clarkson, and what was Justin's last name?
I forget, but they were both from American Idol.
Guar.
It starts with a G.
Like a G.
Yeah.
But the all-time worst, we're going to give it a second here so people can think, what do I think is the worst romantic comedy of all time?
But I don't even remember. I mean, I know this movie, but I don't think I've ever seen it.
Well, if I ask you to
And who's in
name
it?
a movie with Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck, you would say Gigli, although it looks like Giggly.
Oh.
Gigli.
I must have seen it then.
wasn't
What was it
Gigli?
about? Did you watch it?
No.
Oh, you've seen none of them. Okay, well, there you go. There's
No.
the movies.
Yeah. Giggly. Must have been terrible.
I don't know.
Well, it seems to be
I'm done with
universally
that, though. Don't watch those movies.
universally hated. All right.
All right, here we
Got a ways to
go.
go. PC Halloween. We're going to start with
Politically
that.
correct.
Right, because this is asking the question. It's 2024 now, right? And a lot of things that were acceptable, say, in the 60s or 70s or 80s or whatever, seem to not be acceptable anymore.
These are kind of cringeworthy, actually.
We may not want to share all. Well, we're going to. Okay, so here's the deal. The question is, are these costumes still acceptable in 2024, or are they offensive?
And this is how people used to dress up at Halloween. Can a woman dress as a man? 69% of people said yes, that's still okay.
Can a man dress as a woman? 65% said sure.
That's
no big
still
deal.
okay.
Those aren't terribly controversial. Now,
Can a non-Native American dress as a Native American?
half of people say that that's still okay. 30% are like, definitely not. If you're not a Native American, you cannot dress as a Native American. And do we now call it indigenous person? Because a lot of people are like, well, I'm a Native American. I was born here. So
Yeah.
Okay, that was the first of the ones where like, this is kind of cringeworthy.
Can a child dress up in a cultural costume if they're not part of that culture? 62% say yes.
I wonder if that's just because, well, they're a kid, so they can do, I mean, it's not done with any intent.
Yeah, but what is it? Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I feel like at Halloween, you're not necessarily making fun of it. You pick your costume. Like, I know when I was little, my costume was picked with a lot of pride. Like, I'm going to be this person because I like this character or this person so much. It's not in, like, malice, not with malice that you're dressing up.
How many years were you Snow White? 0?
0.
What was your go-to costume as a kid, Blondie?
I don't know. I was Smurfette one year. I had this turquoise jumpsuit.
Remember the Jawas
What about
from
you?
Star
What about
Wars?
you?
I was
Yeah.
a Jawa for 1 year, and I was
Okay.
a robot another year. And
I think I was Snoopy one year with the plastic kind of mask. You know when they had the
God, they were
plastic
so
mask?
bad.
So bad.
They're
And the
horrible.
plastic costume, you know?
Right. They're awful.
But my mom and her friend would make my costumes.
Give me your hair.
So like
Just so you know you're shedding.
one of the years me and my best friend were crayons, different color crayons.
Oh, nice.
One year I was a Coke can and she was a Pepsi can. We had some fun ones. Okay, keep going.
All right. Can your costume include, in 2024, is this cool? Can your costume include a realistic looking gun or other weapon? Only a third of people said yes. 50% of people said definitely don't do that because the outcome could be really bad.
I mean, I would not.
Right.
Although I did carry like one of those, it was very plastic and it looked very fake when I was a pirate. Like one of those like sword things.
Yeah, it's a sword.
Yeah.
What do they call it? Not a
No,
dagger.
I don't know. Anyway.
All right. So here we go. Can white people wear blackface makeup if they're dressing up as a black person? So, like, let's just say you want to go for Halloween as like I'm Denzel Washington or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
So you're not trying to be bad, but apparently, and I disagree. 33% think that this is okay in 2024. I think you're really walking on thin ice there.
Yeah. Well, over half of the people say definitely not.
Right.
So,
and I don't
there's
even
that.
think that that's wrong. I'm sorry. I don't think that it's. I don't think it's wrong for people to say you shouldn't dress up as a different race
Yeah.
than what you are. Especially. So that was 33% still say it's okay. Not happy about.
So now
that.
that we know what's not PC for this year,
Right.
and since 1 in 4 adults are going to be dressing up for Halloween this year, are you dressing up?
I haven't decided yet. I'm going to say yes. Actually, I've got an event on Saturday, which is the 26th, right? And
Yeah.
it's a Halloweeny theme. So
Oh, then you have to dress up.
Yeah, I will. But
Okay.
I'm also spinning the music and being an old DJ guy, so I can't do something too.
Well,
I got to pop headphones on and off. I can't do something too.
Be the marshmallow guy, the DJ, the marshmallow.
You know what? You keep talking. I'm going to go get what I want to wear.
Okay, I will. Okay.
I'm going to go put it on.
That's funny. Okay, I can't wait to see what it is. So what types, that's the key. What types of costumes might the 1 in 4 adults who are dressing up be wearing this year? So this is a new Halloween poll. And this is what they're looking at. They're going to dress up as a fictional person or character. They're going to dress up as an animal or creature. They're going to dress up as a concept. I don't really know what that means. A living person, a historical figure, or an object. That's what they're dressing up as. I'm scared because here comes Curt. I don't have any idea what's going to happen here. Oh my gosh. Curt, where did you even get that?
Well, I thought
Okay, if you aren't watching, Curt is now showing up as is this a raccoon?
I think so.
A panda? What is that?
Maybe a panda.
No, it's a raccoon, I feel like.
Well, I felt
very
like,
soft.
I felt like headphones could fit underneath here, like you said, the DJ Marshmallow that wears the big marshmallow head. So I thought that I'd be panda, Ranger raccoon, Rocky Raccoon.
Oh, or what's the raccoon? Oh my gosh, I am having the biggest brain fart right now. Who's the raccoon in Guardians of the Galaxy?
Rocket.
Rocket!
But this doesn't look anything like Rocket, does it?
Well, no, not really.
So anyway, that might be an option for
I like it, Curt.
Saturday. I don't get
A big, huge, looks like a
Possibly.
mega stuffed animal.
possibly a raccoon
Head.
maybe discolored.
I was
panda.
just talking about this story, and people that are dressing up, the types of costumes they're going to wear. One of them says a concept. What is that?
I'm going to share with you a concept costume that a friend of mine named Rick Wiggins did way back when. So this is like late.
So you
90s.
totally know what this means. I don't.
Well, this is what I think it means. He showed up, and this was very newsworthy at the time. He was wearing like a kid's a sheet set, or I mean not even kids, but it was the ocean, right? So he had this sheet on of the ocean.
Okay.
There's fish and waves and what the case, and then he had a plane like stuck to his chest.
Oh my god!
And his costume was, are you ready? John Denver's Last Thought.
Oh,
Come on. People are laughing. The thing was, it was one of those too soon things because it happened like a week before. So he was John Denver's Last Thought. Maybe that's what they mean by
so
a
a concept costume. Okay, hold on. Cover for me. I should have looked it up. I mean, we have a lot of this concept.
You made people wait
costume.
while I put my Rocky
I love it. No, I went through the story.
Okay.
I saw it.
Concept costumes.
I'm getting
I
not
think
a
that's
whole
what
lot.
it is. Like if you go and say, something.
I don't know. I got nothing. I don't want to waste time. It's
Costume concept.
No, but they're just giving ideas.
Okay, so there. I'm going to go with what I shared, and I thought that was a good one.
Okay.
And I also like the fact that the timing was like a week before. Because somebody showed up as Steve Irwin, the crocodile hunter, like days after it happened. That couldn't have been because it was it November when anyway, it was one of those things where you felt like, it's kind of close on Tuesday.
A concept costume is a costume that is designed to reflect the ideas and goals of a story rather than being historically accurate.
I don't even know what that means.
I don't either. A concept costume can be used in a variety of settings such as, blah, blah.
We're just teeing this up for our listener, Randy, to call. You know what a concept costume is? How was that for Randy's voice?
Here's the thing that we love. Thank you for being on the journey of learning with us.
Yes, we appreciate that.
That's what it is. It's the journey of learning, and that's what life is about.
Yes.
Learning.
And learning.
Yes.
And costumes.
And the adventures of Curt and Jen in the Morning podcast.
Love
you
it.
never know what you're going to get.
All right.
It's all the things.
Here comes the homework.
No, it's not a homework. We're not calling it homework anymore.
All right. The Curt and Jen podcast question of the day for tomorrow.
That's right. This is the key word. What is your irrational fear?
Right.
Irrational meaning you have this fear, even though the chances of it happening
are
so slim.
I'm going to use these two as examples.
Okay, do it. Okay.
So we had a couple of examples. An irrational fear, one person said throwing up in front of everyone at a public restaurant. Unlikely, but...
Yes.
The ceiling fan coming off and hitting them. A lot of us have our beds underneath ceiling fans.
Yeah.
And so that's the kind of stuff we're talking about here because there's a few other examples. Irrational fears. Somebody said Elvis.
Elvis is their irrational fear.
Balloons. People that are scared of balloons.
Oh, I mean, balloons. That's interesting.
But what about spoons? Irrational fear of spoons? It's irrational, so I guess there doesn't have to be an explanation for it.
So tell us your irrational fear. We'll post that on the Facebook page, the Curt and Jen in the Morning Facebook page.
Snakes in my toilet.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, I don't think about that, but I often wonder if something could come up from the toilet and bite your butt while you're on it.
Obviously, that happens all the time, especially in Bothell, Washington.
Right.
No, it's what I think is interesting about this with any of us in our irrational fears. You know that they're irrational, but say it was the snakes in the toilet. Once the thought is in your head, you're like, I got to stand up and see if there's snakes in the toilet.
Yep.
You can't shake it. So tomorrow your irrational fears. Thank you for sharing in advance. We look forward to hearing your answers.
Thank you for being on this great journey and adventure with us. We appreciate you being here so much.
Absolutely.
Tell your friends, spread the word.
All that stuff, all the things that Jen says. Do all the things.
Have an awesome Wednesday. Make good choices, find joy, spread kindness.